Temporary storage versus pre-lodgement. And we're on the UK border with the European Union. Importing and exporting goods. And to find out more about these models, let's jump to importing stage 3. Scroll down a bit to variation by location of entry. What does this mean? It means traders can choose import options according to port location. Tell me more. Okay. To start with, goods bound for the UK will eventually arrive at a port in order to cross the English Channel to get to the UK. And from July 2021, for all types of goods, the standard customs controls will apply. And different ports will have facilities to deal with different types of goods. And the facilities available help to describe the port too. We do not delve into individual ports. We do, however, zoom in on a few customs controls for the different types of goods, but in the later stages of this mini-series of videos. For now, if we zoom out and just look at whether a port offers temporary storage or not, then there may still be a variation by location. In this case, ports may fall into 2, maybe 3 categories, further describing a port. And as far as import processing is concerned, these are the categories of import processing. Pre-lodgement, temporary storage, or a mixed model. So, what is the difference between these types of import processing? We see the pre-lodgement model. Ports using this model require traders to pre-lodge, i.e., submit in advance, customs declarations, plus other related pro forma. Specifically, we see traders will be required to have submitted a customs declaration in advance of their goods boarding a carrier on the EU side. We also see HMRC are developing a new IT platform to support the pre-lodgement model, called the Goods Vehicle Movement Service, GVMS. And we introduce GVMS in the next video of this particular mini-series. We also see that the pre-lodgement was developed as an alternative for ports that may not have the space and infrastructure to operate temporary storage. Speaking of which, the traditional temporary storage model allows for goods coming into GB to be stored at the frontier for up to 90 days before being declared to customs. And generally speaking, new UK customs rules have simply been copied over from the EU rule book, the UCC, with the odd tweak here and there. As such, we see that it's still the case that temporary storage allows traders to defer submitting customs declarations and paying duties and taxes for up to 90 days. And that's nice. And down here, ports can also choose to operate both the pre-lodgement and temporary storage models within one border location, i.e., a mixed model, provided that the separate customs requirements can be met for each model. As none of these 3 options are mandatory, what we have here are 3 import processing options from which traders can choose. And they will need to find the appropriate locations that offer all the options they need. For imports heading to the UK, this also means choosing the cross-channel routes that suits best to. And it is the ports themselves, the border operators at the ports etc. that choose the operating model that best suit their grounds and facilities. The choice that an EU port makes between operating a temporary storage model, a pre-lodgement model, or the mixed model will be a commercial decision for border location operators and not HMRC. However, all ports operating any of these models will still have to work with HMRC to demonstrate how they will be able to meet any UK import requirements as appropriate for their chosen model. Included in this, they will need to show how they can ensure goods are customs controlled upon entering the port area and border location. So, taking the mixed model as an example, we see ports and carriers wishing to operate a mixed model for imports heading to the UK will need to demonstrate they can ensure goods arriving in at the port without temporary storage approval are not able to board a carrier on the EU side without proof that a valid pre-lodged declaration is in place. And also, goods without pre-lodged declarations enter a temporary storage approved area on arrival in the port with a valid temporary storage authorization and inventory linking in place. UCC inventory linking. FAB. And importantly, as port procedures will vary, this means that hauliers, carriers and traders will need to familiarize themselves with the different steps that they will need to take to move their goods through a particular border location too. So, 2 questions arise from this. Why would a trader choose pre-lodgement, temporary storage, or the mixed model, and how can one find out which ports offer one or more of these services? Traders would choose pre-lodgement when they want their goods to fly through the ports and through customs clearance without any delay or storage. Ports that do not have temporary storage facilities operate the pre-lodgement model only, and these tend to be the smaller RoRo ports, i.e., roll-on roll-off ports. And I'll come back to RoRo ports shortly. FAB. On the other hand, and without going into great detail, traders may also need the temporary storage model if their paperwork isn't ready. Easy access to temporary storage facilities can come in very handy if paperwork issues arise and need resolving. But more often, the need for temporary storage is dictated by logistics and commercial reasons, such as goods awaiting a special procedure, commonly involving a manufacture process too. Often temporary storage is used prior to goods being declared to customs, or prior to goods being transferred into another customs procedure, such as a special procedure. As an aside, We do have a great 5-minute video focusing on the temporary storage procedure, free circulation, plus other videos too on customs special procedures. These are great for another time. But sticking to the path ahead. And a good example of where temporary storage is required is at free ports. Free ports operate a temporary storage model. And we'll also discuss free ports shortly too. And we see that the UK government will provide a list of sites as soon as possible, which will use the pre-lodgement model once the border locations have made their commercial decisions. And we can expect that a port only deploying the pre-lodgement model will not have space or warehouses for temporary storage, and so will be a RoRo port. And I've found a list of RoRo ports, which I'll show shortly. But for now, what is a RoRo port? A quick word on free ports and RoRo ports. RoRo ports, or roll-on roll-off ports, are commonly for shipping that ferry HGV and trailer vehicles. These offer regular, punctual connections that provide fast seamless transit for HGV transports, i.e. accompanied transportation, but they may cater for rail cargo too, an example of unaccompanied transports. To achieve fast seamless transit, RoRo ports need excellent on-site road, rail and sea terminals for cargo, with road and rail providing easy access into the mainland. And RoRo ports are based on the pre-lodgement model. As such, another essential asset for RoRo ports is the computer systems that deliver fast and seamless customs processing. And this is where pre-lodgement systems delivered by platforms such as the Goods Vehicle Movement Service, GVMS, or the EU versions, using Chief etc., and the EU MRN numbers, all play a crucial role, providing time-saving features such as early green lighting for movements, based on timely pre-lodgements. And if GVMS sounds confusing, then as luck would have it, after this video draws to a close, we introduce GVMS, right at the start of the next video. Hurrah! First, let's see a list of RoRo ports, and jump to guidance. List of roll-on roll-off ports, RoRo ports, listed in the UK. Pause where you like, but it's worth bearing this list in mind when we discuss GVMS. Before that, I also found this. I don't know if it's of any use. Statistical data set. Road goods vehicles traveling to Europe, RoRo. And we can scroll down to active routes for road goods vehicles traveling to Europe. Take a quick look at that. An old list from 2004. Scroll down. Could be useful. See the routes given in the second column. So, by now we can imagine that it's not only traders that need to prepare for the end of transition. Will these ports be ready in time too? We might imagine that the amount of work needed to get all these ports organized and prepared for the end of transition must be astronomical. Will these all be ready? I don't know. But it won't be long before we all find out. Great. What about free ports? I like Port and Stilton. That's nice. But what are free ports? Free ports or free zones are government-designated, tax-free, or mostly tax-free areas. If I was to distinguish between free ports and free zones, my guess would be that free zones are based inland, not at a cargo port. Anyway, painting a picture. Often these are industrial areas fitted with HGV parking, warehousing and temporary storage facilities, cargo and freight facilities, large and varied manufacturing facilities, and can be based at, or near, a port, or inland. And, like all industrial areas, they have good transport connections. One or more of road, rail, sea or air connections. But how are free ports and zones distinguished from other industrial areas? Okay, great. To reiterate, these areas are situated in a tax and customs charges free zone. No charge is due on goods simply stored or manufactured at a free port or zone, provided that goods are exported after their temporary storage or manufacturing process ends. However, if instead goods are moved to the domestic market, then import formalities, duties, etc. all become due. And free ports and zones are an attractive prospect for manufacturers. They can use simplified procedures to import raw materials, whilst utilizing storage and manufacturing facilities at the free port, and then having a domestic market on the doorstep. In this way, free ports also encourage imports to the domestic market. But even if a manufacturer only exports products made in a free port or zone, these areas also stimulate local economic activity. And this may often spread out and around or even further beyond the vicinity of a free port or zone. And so, temporary storage is a key stage in the import and export process, and no doubt, in the manufacture process too. As such, free ports are a better fit for the temporary storage model, perhaps even a mixed model, but this really depends on the nature of activity at the site. Prior to 2012, the UK had a handful of free ports locations like Liverpool, Southampton, Port of Tilbury, Port of Sheerness, Prestwick Airport, and a few more. Although the free port status may have expired, other free zones are spread around the UK. But plans are afoot to bring back free ports to the UK. Perhaps another 10 free ports may appear in due course. Hurrah! But there are around 82 free ports or zones, spread around the European Union. Amazing. So, free ports. One might imagine this subject comes up from time to time, in trade negotiations. Discussions related to level playing field, etc. And that's nice. So, in closing, and if useful, here is the HMRC Imports Exports General Enquiries page 2, just in case. Great. In the next video, the Goods Vehicle Movement Service. But, also, find out what the UK government has done to prepare goods drivers and hauliers. Fab.